Hey guys, it's Jonathan, Wrestling Talking the Shop, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a legend we just lost, and that is Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Lord Humongous, whatever you want to call him, Sid Eudy, and we just recently, he was a character like you've never seen before. I remember seeing him like in the early 90s when he debuted for WWF. I remember when he left WCW, and I was a kid at the time, and he went to WWF, and I thought, oh man, because he was bigger than Hogan. He was taller, he was more muscular than Hogan, and I just thought, and then he come in and they were friends, and so I thought, well, that's good. Then he ended up turning heel, and he was the referee in one of their matches, but he ended up turning heel. Well, I don't know if he turned heel or Hogan turned heel, however you want to call it. He eliminated Hogan. And Hogan was kind of upset, which was kind of dumb. It was the Royal Rumble. Every man was for himself. But then Hogan pulled him out and basically gave the WWF Championship to Ric Flair in 1992. That was, and that's, you go back and watch that 1992 Royal Rumble. This is full legends. And a lot of them we've lost now. It's really sad to say. And it doesn't really seem like that long ago. But he got his start. And of course, he's from Memphis, West Memphis, Arkansas. So he got his start in Tennessee, and then he went on to, I guess he wrestled in the Dallas World Class, USWA, that area. He actually, I read one time where he discovered Harlem Heat, and I can't remember what their name was. It was like Ebony Express, Ebony Express. In Dallas, and he kind of led them on to WCW, and he was overall very good. Very good. He was, like I said, a monster. He was part of the Four Horsemen, a two-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, two-time WWF Champion, and I just recently went back and watched that '96 Survivor Series where he he was over in Madison Square Garden. You could go back and watch it. Shawn Michaels was over too. But also Sid Vicious was over as well, and he was over as well. He grabbed that camera and hit Jose Lothario or whatever in the chest, and then Shawn went out and he basically won the WWF Championship, which it was all, of course, a setup for Shawn to win it back in San Antonio in January of '97. But not how many people can say they were WWF champion? Twice, yeah. But and then he got into an incident overseas in London with Arn Anderson and basically stabbed him with a pair of scissors, and Vader ended up saving Arn Anderson's life on that deal. He stuck his fingers, from what I've heard, in his cut hole, and this is a crazy deal, and but I think they've made up since then, water under the bridge, but anyways, and then he went to WWF in 91, 92. I already talked about that. And he bounced back and forth, as a lot of guys did, and he was Shawn Michaels heavy, and then they ended up facing each other. And like I said, he would get kind of like me on this YouTube channel. He would get his tongue twisted sometimes, and I know one time, I seen this deal where he said, he wanted Jim Ross to say, do a recut, and Jim Ross said, we're live, we can't do a restart, and then that time he told Kevin Nash, I have half the brain you have, and stuff like, but like I said, overall a very, very crazy, he was this monster, over the top wrestler, and then in late 99, I believe, or 2000, he jumped off the top ropes, and the story was he didn't want to do that, but I think it was Vince Russo or somebody told him, we need you. I don't know why they were worried about it, and I think he was going to do a deal on jump off on Scott Steiner, and basically broke his leg. It was horrible. And I didn't buy the pay-per-view. I seen it on Monday Night Nitro the night after that. They showed it. Eric Bischoff made the call to show it, and he never really recovered after that. I hope he got a ton of money out of that deal, because that pretty much ended his wrestling career. He did come back, and what did you say? According to Wikipedia, he didn't retire until 2017. Right. But I remember he come in 2010 and beat Heath Slater then when he was doing the whole Legends thing. He looked good then. He was older. You could tell he wasn't quite as the muscular. His mass wasn't there, but he was still he still
a big guy.
Yeah, he still did all he still looked big compared to Heath Slater. at that time. And then later, I remember I never watched this, but a lot of you probably did. My parents watched it. Big Brother, his son was on Big Brother, and his son had that spaghetti style hair too, that curly hair. And I remember he was a big guy, and I think I read where he was a wrestler since then. But anyways, this is another legend we lost. I mean, here's some of the memorabilia. I don't have a lot of Sid stuff, but there's his SummerSlam Elite. We talked about this pretty recently on the channel, where he was a referee, and then underneath the referee shirt, I think it's the singlet that he wore in WCW. And then there is a magazine cover. We just recently went over this magazine, of course.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. You could probably see it on the channel. And then there's another magazine cover we haven't went over, but that's all I could really find right off the top of the hand. He wasn't, he would wear a leather vest, but I mean, like I said, that's not the complete biography of his career, but that's sort of the, what was his last appearance according to Wikipedia on, I know anybody can enter on
Wrestled his last match of career defeating Paul Rosenberg in Ottawa, Ontario for the Great North Wrestling.
Great North Wrestling, okay. And, and another deal, and he was crazy over softball, And I recently watched their interview where he said that he hoped he would be inducted into the Hall of Fame, And
this coming year.
Yeah, this coming year, and that's he said that he didn't grow up a wrestling fan. He was just in wrestling as a business, and a lot of guys would mark out over WrestleMania, and he said he didn't treat WrestleMania any different than he would wrestling in Boise, Idaho. But it's sad to say that a lot of those guys, they needed to, I don't know what his deal was with Vince. Vince usually makes up with everybody, but Vince is out of the picture now, so hopefully he'll get his Hall of Fame induction, and
hate that he didn't get it while
hate that he didn't get it while he's alive. But like I said, hey, another legend lost too. So very young, was he like 63? Is that what he was? I mean, that's pretty young anymore. I mean, you never really heard any bad stuff other than him stabbing Arn Anderson, and but a lot of the crazy stuff you hear about legends nowadays. He was pretty quiet, after he retired, after he left the limelight. But anyways, there you have it. That's our 2 cents on Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Sid Eudy. Rest in peace. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe.